Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion next to the gorgeous beaver pond. I'm psyched, the leaves are changing and it's so pretty here. Late though, I guess. There's no such thing as late with nature. Nature's on its own schedule, you know what I mean? But it's all beautiful no matter how you look at it. So my name is Kimberly Quinn and I am really pumped to have this discussion with you today on things limitless people know. So we started that conversation with the last one, and there are, because I try to keep these short because we all, the bandwidth, especially after the Rona. I don't think anything more than 11 or 12 minutes is gonna make it, right? Because people are just, heads are filled up, So limitless people, there are certain things that we know, and one is just not to sort of curse what comes your way. And man, tough sell when we're in it. Somebody just, even if it's you're totally legit right, and they just come out of and they just pull the rug out from under you, cause an issue at work that causes a trickle down of problems, maybe embarrassment, this, that, and just realize that life happens for us, not to us. Even if it feels like that in a minute, like, how could this happen to me? Blah, 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 blah. It's not saying it's not hard. No one is not saying it could be incredibly hard, incredibly challenging. But it's not like, why did this happen to me? Poor me. Why this? I didn't deserve this. And that all may be true. And somewhere, though, there's a reason, because life does happen for us to grow. And so limitless people really get that, and it's important to know. Okay, so that instead they look at things as an opportunity to grow, because that is why we're all here, right? To learn to love ourselves and other people. That's it. And to drink out of a brook. The rest of us might get beaver fever, so we wouldn't want to try that, but little G likes it. And then, okay, so what kind of goes along with that, not cursing the things that come our way, the old poor me thing, and why this happened to me, even if it's legit, and looking for growth, is also when people hurt our feelings. Okay, limitless people get that no one can hurt our feelings. No one can hurt our feelings. Why? Because our feelings come from our thoughts. So if you think about that, thinking, it's called metacognition, right? Our feelings come from our own thoughts. Therefore, how can anyone else possibly hurt us? Like, we have to let it in. We also can't be embarrassed by other people. Same reason. We have to have the embarrassed thinking. We have to allow the embarrassed thinking in order to feel embarrassed. Thoughts come first, feelings second. Foundation of Minecraft, right? And that's just plain true. And just as a reminder, I just actually did this with my students the other day. I said, let's just say, just to prove the point, thoughts come first, feelings come second. If we were to carve through Jonathan's very scalp and pull out his very brilliant mind with kindness and anesthesia, and put it on the shelf in a big bowl of formaldehyde, what would Jonathan be feeling? And they kind of look around like, is this a trick question? Answer, nothing. Why? You can't feel anything if there are no thoughts. There are no thoughts if there's no brain. So that's the proof in the pudding right there. So limitless people get that. And, of course, the famous Eleanor Roosevelt quote fits here too. No one can make us feel inferior without our consent, and that is the truth. No one said it's easy, but it is that simple. And then, and then Wayne Dyer, I have to give him a shout out, because I go in JAGs with my greatest teachers I mean, they have I've all got a whole gamut. And right now, plus his voice is so soothing. It feels like a mental massage kind of thing. So anyway, I was listening to him earlier, and he talks about this very thing, and he says, think about it. Oh, geez, see somebody? No? Just think about it. Somebody says, they're in front of you or behind you or whatever, and they say, hey, stupid, and you're not looking that way, and you just turn around. Think about that. Like, they're calling me? How'd they know I was coming? And people do that. And no, it's like we're biting the hook kind of thing. And I thought that was also a good example. We don't respond to people like that. Quietly effective and walk away. So another one is limitless people know that they have to get rid of the junk or the crap in their heads. And so that might be envy and jealousy, all this old stuff, old guilt, old shame, old blame, all of it, because it takes up, think about it when you click on the computer. And this is actually a good example because for me, because I can like see it in my mind's eye right now, because I do the videos, right? They take up lots of memory. So sometimes the processing will just slow down or come to a complete halt. And then I'll look at the drive and it's like the red is all the way to here. And there's this much more room for memory because it's all taken up with old videos. Well, that's a good example actually, because in a cognitive, metaphorically, our cognitive space, maybe totally, oh, that might be a bear, but it's okay. Our cognitive space might be totally taken up with old blame and shame and guilt and envy and jealousy and blah, 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 blah. Perceived mistakes that we made, when in reality there are no such thing as mistakes. Why? Because we are all just people. Better go this way, because I heard a little bear communication. They sound like owls. They make hoo noises. And so I heard a little hooing over there. Come on, G. Okay, so I forgot where I was going with that. Get rid of the junk, guilt, shame. Okay, so we need to let go of all of that. But just like I do when I'm making videos, and I go in and delete a bunch of old ones that are already up on the channel and everything, and get rid of the old stuff, and then all of a sudden, I'm able to process the new stuff. And so, yeah, I didn't even plan that one. That rolled out of me because it was such a visual. And then the other ones with limitless people get, as far as relationships go, even if you're married, which I had to sit with this one and really kind of think about it for a second. Got hiking here. Is that even in a marriage, limitless people get that you're really always single. And I don't mean that in a way that you're out carousing and not being loyal, of course. That's not it. In a committed relationship, hopefully you're both first to each other and loyal to the end, and loving and kind and compassionate and all that stuff. We're talking about mentally, because human beings are complicated, complex spirits, right? I mean, so the point is that we're not bringing together, or by bringing together people, we're not like merging into this one unified creature, like body with two heads kind of thing. We're still two separate people coming together. Otherwise, like sometimes you see, here, you complete me. It makes me think of those little necklaces that often little girls share in like 5th grade. And they're a heart, and she has one side and her best friend has the other side. And that's very adorable, but also very middle school, or early middle school or elementary or whatever. And it's not like that. We each have half a heart and each half a person. You're both two full, whole, and complete people, hopefully, because the alternative of that is codependency, where you need each other in an unhealthy way, right? In an unhealthy way. Mutual dependency, not codependency. That's what it is. Well, limitless people get that. They get that. It's not a situation of, our, relationships have problems. They're not so focused on, we have problems. There's going to be constant things to talk about and work through. But limitless people don't perceive those as these gigantic obstacles to conquer, because they go into it knowing that we are both unique spirits, and we think differently, we act differently, we dress differently, we might like different foods, we might like different movies. There might be some of that's the same, because people, that whole thing with opposites attract is actually a myth, because people are attracted to each other who have things in common. Though not everything, or you'd be the same person, which you're not, right? So it's kind of fun. I love listening to my husband about, he's a history buff, specifically the 20th century presidents. And I just love listening to all his stories. I know more about Harry Truman than your average person. That's his favorite. And I love that about him, because if he wasn't, my beloved, I wouldn't know anything about any of that. And then he picks up a little bit of psychology too. And also, he's more of an indoor guy. I'm obviously an outdoor person. And, we're very different in some ways, but we get that. We totally get that. And, okay, so two healthy, independent individuals coming together to be mutually dependent, not codependent, but needing each other and being there for each other in a healthy way. And then Also, limitless people are into the path of non-resistance or least resistance. We get that Carl Jung said ages ago, what we resist will persist. Doesn't mean throw in the towel and be defeated. It just means to be listening to the universe, source, God, however you call it, to really realize, when you hit up against the speed bumps and definitely the brick walls, that it's time to, go a different direction, kind of thing. Non-resistance, because the universe, God, source, has a plan for all of us. And we are limitless people. We are really good at listening. Does it mean we don't mess up? Of course it doesn't. We're just a little bit more tuned in because we're on the path to just fulfill our own unique purpose on this planet. I guess that's the best way to say it. So we're not fighting the universe. Limitless people are not fighting the universe. We're listening well, hopefully, and following, that inner voice, the whispers, as Oprah says. And then I made little notes for me. I don't usually do that in the woods sometimes. And then lastly, we know that for every quote unquote problem, which again, there really aren't any, there's just things that come up we need to work on, things that nudge us. For every one of those nudges, there's a spiritual solution. And acceptance is usually the key. It doesn't mean throw in the towel. It doesn't mean be defeated. It means, to accept the present moment, even if it's really rough, as this is meant to be right now. And in fact, I think it's John Kabat-Zinn who has the best definition of stress. I'm pretty sure it's him. And I love it. And this is definitely a limitless person thing to say. That stress is wanting the present moment to be something other than it is. The tire blows or whatever, that's what's happening right now. And then when we accept it, things are, we're sick, can't go to something. It sucks, but we get it that this is what's happening. There are no accidents. There are no mistakes. There are no failures. There are things happening exactly as they're meant to unfold. And that's it. As far as the failures and mistakes, those don't exist either, because we are just humans. We're spiritual beings in a human experience. We are just producing results, and the results we produce, then land us in different directions that hopefully we're learning from if we need to. But that's really it. It just all unfolds the way it's supposed to. Okay, that's it. Things limitless people know. This is Kimberly Quinn and Giovanni signing off from the beautiful Notch in northern Vermont. Have a mindful, limitless day.